Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Allie. If you're not new, you know that. Welcome to the Sea Owl. I am so grateful and excited to be spending this precious time with you. This is going to be a little more of a human reading in that this is what is going on, what can you expect, and what do you need to know over the next 2 weeks. It's an energy check. And so this is good for whenever you find it, although I am recording it on September 11th of 2023. So also for those of you watching it as I release it, it will be good from now until the end of September. But really it's timeless because energy is the only thing that exists, really. Time is an illusion. Okay, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm doing that. So let's go ahead and pick our piles. Like I said, this is a bit of a different reading. Full disclosure, I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde or something else going on, but 2 days ago I recorded a 48-minute mediumship session and spent 3 hours editing it. And when I went to upload it to YouTube, it was completely deleted, like deleted from my laptop. I even went through Time Machine. There is zero conceivable reason as to why this got deleted, except that I'm assuming maybe my guides didn't want me to share it, or Mercury retrograde, or who really knows what. So that really took the wind out of my sails for a minute, but we're gonna keep pressing on. So this is what you need to know for the next 2 weeks. We're gonna pull some cards together. So this is the card for pile 1. You have number 30. I am imaginative. This is the card for number 2. 1212. I am focused. And here's the card for pile 3, number 23. I am adventurous. Okay. And then let's just add some crystals for funsies. Which ones do I want to do? We're going to do the smoky quartz seer stone for group 1. I got this at a really cool shop in Belleville, Illinois. I'm trying to remember the name. It's escaping me, and the name of the shop is really cool. If I remember, I'll tag it below. So we have smoky quartz seer stone. And then for group 2, what do we want? Let's do this beautiful piece of iolite. It's a very watery stone, very blue, obviously. So that'll be the stone for group 2. And group 3, we're gonna do, yes, this piece of quartz straight out the earth. It's been cleaned up some, but it is one of my absolute favorite pieces. And one of my soul sisters gave this to me. So that will be the stone for group number 3. So please take all the time that you need. I'm not going to offer any kind of sound cleansing for this reading because it is just a little more simpler energy check. So I am excited to connect with you. Please take all the time you need to choose your pile. The times will be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Welcome, pile 1. If you're new here, my name is Allie. And I am really excited to dig into this reading for you. So this is information that you need to know going into the next 2 weeks. So kind of an energy check-in from here until the end of September. First of all, this is really being brought to my attention before we even pull cards. The speak no evil, see no evil, hear no evil monkeys. This belonged to my grandmother, and it's one of my most prized, like, heirloom things. It's just this, I don't even know what it's made out of, but it's the sentimentality of it. So that might be significant to someone out there. But let's go ahead and get a few cards real quick to make sure that this is the correct energy check-in for you. How have you been? I hope you've been well. I am excited to do just, I feel like these energy check-ins are just as important as the other types of readings I'm being called to do, because we are still, more than anything, called and meant to be human right now. We are having a human experience. That's why we're here. So all the other stuff is amazing and helpful to help us further our human path and our soul path. But ultimately, I think it's a good idea to check in and check the pulse of things and see where things are going, because we can always course correct if we feel that we need to. At the bottom, we have octopus spirit. I really love this. This is very wise. That is the first energy that I'm getting from octopus spirit, is very wise. Jack of all trades kind of energy, and that's a very positive sentiment, actually. I'm trying to remember the entire phrase. I think it's Jack of all trades, master of none. But then the second part of that, I think, is master of one and something. I don't know. Basically, I think the idea is it's good to have a little bit of knowledge of everything rather than all the knowledge on one thing. So, B, okay. Those B's, they've been coming up for us here. We have swan and hyena. These go together. We have spider and phoenix over here. And their placements tell a story. We have rabbit, buffalo, cobra, and tiger. I'm actually getting multiple different individuals here. It's like a similar, I'm hearing it's the same storyline, but there's different players. And so it's very significant how these cards are laid out. Let me take a sip of tea real quick and sit with this for just a moment. I'm first drawn to the bee spirit. And, you know, I'm laughing about it because I myself feel such a connection to the beehive cluster. I feel like I bring them up in every video because I personally work very, very closely with the individuals, with the energies in this particular collective. And I feel many of you, my friends, are connected to this as well. So we have two different groups, camps of people, and I feel like one common, how would I word this, theme or objective end goal. So up here, this feels like one specific person, and this feels like a swan navigating, like a single swan in a pond that is completely surrounded by hyenas. And the hyenas cannot get to the swan in the center of the pond. And it may look very graceful and serene on the surface, but as one of our friends here on the channel pointed out in the last reading, I want to say, I think it was the Golden Children Pile 3, that swan came out. And they mentioned that under the water, the swan's feet are like kicking and swimming frantically. So I feel very much that there are energies. So I'm feeling multiple, many of whom are masking themselves in different communities. One of them is the spiritual community. And it's not just that, it's also family members, it's low vibrational friends and acquaintances and co-workers that you probably give too much of yourself or your time to. And so I don't feel inherently like most of these hyenas are like bad people. I feel in this circle of hyenas around you, there's maybe less than a quarter of them that actually do not have any good interests like towards you in their heart whatsoever. And I'm not telling you anything that I don't think you're acutely aware of. In fact, I think in fact, I think you're very aware, and you're kicking your feet frantically to stay in the middle, to keep from getting too close to the edge of the pond where one of them might get too close. And so there is a call here for you to be a little more cognizant of the light attributes and the shadow attributes that every individual inherently has and holds. And many, many, many of us operate in shadow frequencies, completely oblivious and unaware that we're doing so. And many of us operate from that frequency fully aware. And I don't think I need to give you examples. I think that's pretty clear cut. But I feel like for you, if you feel like you're the swan here in this situation, you may feel like you're alone in this pond, swimming frantically, but they're reminding you in a sense that you have what would be called, in a sense, a twin. Okay, so we're going to start talking about twin flames here for a moment. They're leading. When I say a twin, so I am on a journey right now discovering that this twin flame thing is not at all what the spiritual community at large believes it to be. I think many of us are coming around to this concept and knowledge that this romanticized twin flame toxicity is not actually a real thing. It's actually something to keep us more divided and in this perpetual cycle of unhappiness and misery, looking for something that doesn't exist in the form in which we may have been told or taught that it does. In saying that, there are different types of twin flames or twin energies, mirroring energies, and these do differ from soul mates. So in my personal experience, as well as what I have been given from Spirit, is that twin flames could be a mother and daughter, or two friends, or two cousins, or, you know, I mean, any, and it could also be romantic, but it's not limited to that. All of this goes around to say is to point out that that is something that should be on your radar. They're saying this inaccurate, false twin flame narrative that is being worked through the collective right now. And also that you yourself have this kind of twin energy in your life, whether you know that about them or not. If you feel this call or this knowing or a pull in your gut, in your solar plexus of a certain person, then I would simply recommend sitting with that feeling, meditating on it, and asking your guides to show you the truth of that relationship. Because ultimately, having a twin flame only means that you have someone who can see you and is mirroring you. So there's so much growth that can happen in one of those connections, as well as healing. Like, these are beautiful things. I think you may even be able to have more than twin flame, but who am I to say? You know, I'm just telling you what feels right to me and what I've been given. So I feel like here, if you identify as the swan and you're feeling very alone right now, it's not saying that you need to start looking or manifesting for your twin flame. I think this is simply saying, hold faith in knowing that you are not the only one of your kind. And if that person who is cut from the same soul cloth as you has not been made or into your awareness yet, they will be. And I'm being reminded of Fievel Goes West, American, oh gosh, it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. But the Somewhere Out There song, that used to make me so sad, but they're bringing that up in like a positive way. Somewhere out there, there is another soul on planet Earth, or even in this universe somehow, that is looking at the same big bright sky as you, and you're destined to meet. Also, not to let these hyenas get to you that much. I mean, I feel like in a sense you're in very protective waters. You're protected by the beehive clan. Like, yes, be aware of them. Be very aware, but also don't feel like you have to swim so frantically to keep yourself safe, because you are safe. You're just so graceful and beautiful and giving. And I'm getting heavy Pleiadian energy here of wanting to save everyone, right? They're saying, maybe let's not do those things. Maybe you can gracefully float a little bit more than you're giving, than you're allowing yourself to. This is a separate person. And this person is connected to Swan. I'm actually going to call this person Tiger and this person Swan, because it is two different energies united and working together with the beehive cluster. So Tiger person is kind of doing all the things that Swan person can't do right now, because they're working so hard to keep themselves in the middle. Okay, Tiger person, who's very intuitive, very wise, very strong, and also I'm feeling scorpionic in that they're a master of regeneration and rebirth. And not just that scorpionic energy of the rebirth, but also the strength, this inherent strength to withstand any happenstance that may come their way, and not only remain strong and wise and intuitive and steadfast, but also remain fertile and abundant. I'm getting this kind of yin and yang energy here, but it's not, but it's like the Swan person and the Tiger person encompass the same light and dark energies. And it can be interchangeable at different points in your life. And right now, Tiger person has this energy in spades, and Swan is holding a frequency. They're holding an energy in the middle, keeping the hyenas kind of preoccupied, so that Tiger can bring in this regeneration and rebirth and abundance that is steadfast, that has longevity. with the Phoenix and the Spider, this feels again rebirth, Plutonic, Scorpionic, and finally getting your wish fulfillment in your web, and then emerging as the Phoenix from there. It's like the two of you, or it could even be three, take it however it resonates. But I'm going to, for the sake of the cards, I'm going to say the two of you. For the two of you, you have this ultimate goal in mind, and you're on the last leg, literally the last leg of this full regeneration moment that you've been going through for a hot minute. But before you could fully emerge as this fiery Phoenix, like ready to go, you had to lay the groundwork and kind of keep these, what is it, Spirit? Nosy Nellies? Keep these kind of nosy Nellies at bay. Keep your attention down a little bit. It was almost like focusing, centering, laying a foundation, and then building this spider web to kind of lure. Seems like a negative word, but it's almost as a spotlight or as a foundational. Well, yeah, look at this. It's a spider web that's a rainbow. That's exactly what you've been building. There's nothing negative or dark about it. You've been building this spiderweb rainbow to lure in the people who needed you, who've been looking for you. And now that you've set this foundation and people see your beautiful rainbow spiderweb and that it's a safe spiderweb, I think that's the thing. Why would it be a safe spiderweb? Because you are Charlotte, okay? You are kind and nurturing and intuitive and compassionate and genuinely want to see other people get well and live their best life, whatever time that may be left, even, I'm hearing, and see them emerge in rebirth into this Phoenix energy. People can see that you have done it, and if you have done it, then I can do it. That's what I'm hearing people saying about your energy. So to kind of lay a foundation for you, Pile 1, about what's coming up from now through the end of September or the next 2 weeks, whenever you find this video, I think it's kind of that culmination of laying the groundwork, of finishing building the web. I think in the next 2 weeks, you're really going to have that web built where it will be safe enough for the swan to fly out of the center of the pond and leaving the hyenas kind of looking around like, what? And for tiger to, it's like for swan and tiger, to these two very opposite energies to meet here at this rainbow spider web that they've been manifesting and building and creating. And these energies get to merge and become a phoenix together. So there's part of this twin aspect again, but they're wanting me to remind you it's not a twin flame in the way that you think, because it can't be healthy unless you are your own person, which means the swan stays the swan and the tiger remains the tiger. But you're able to use your energies in this yin-yang balance, that you're able to like swirl together and create this phoenix that is big enough and powerful enough to hold both of your energies individually, simultaneously. All with the help of the Beehive clan. And again, this is to bring in abundance with longevity. So let's regroup and see what more information they have for you for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to use some star codes, star codes for group 1 the next 2 weeks. Spirit team of group 1. I keep wanting to say group 2, but you're definitely group 1. Group 1. The next 2 weeks for group 1, please and thank you, Spirit. It's weird, it's actually pretty silent. Normally I'm getting messages as I shuffle, and this is kind of silent and mellow and like you're just waiting. I don't think I'm telling you anything new. I think I'm, let's see, we had 2 come out here. Invitation and cultivate with Taurus. Thank you, Spirit. For pile 2, the next 2 weeks, what can they anticipate? What do you want them to know? What's going on? The next 2. Okay, thank you. Interesting, because I was going to say, I feel like what you're doing with this person, this rainbow web that you've been building, is actually to help heal people. And I feel 2 messages coming through with Chiron here. Let's see. Man, the bees will not leave us alone, and I'm not complaining at all. It's just so much confirmation. Whoever this is for, this should be so much confirmation for you. Like, they're giving me like the old time cartoons, like hitting you over the head with this frying pan that has bees painted all over it. Like, do you believe it yet? Do you believe that you're part of us yet? Okay. So make sure you can see this all still. That does not look very aligned. I'll say that. So with this healing modality, healing business, healing network that you are creating, it's more than a dream. I really feel like whatever you've been working on is more than a dream. It's something you've put tangible work and effort into. And it's ready to be seen. Just about. I'll say just about. They're going to tell you when it's go time. And there will be no doubt. And there will be no question. And I feel like that in and of itself should, for at least a couple of you, be very comforting. Because I can hear you asking, like, what do you want me to be doing? What should I be doing? When should I be doing it, and what should I be doing, and how, and like all these questions, because you don't want to mess it up. And they're saying, like, you can't mess this up. For one, they're saying it in the most loving way. And also, it will be made known to you. It will be crystal clear. You also may consider yourself a crystal child. So that could just be further confirmation for one person out here. But what I'm seeing here over the next 2 weeks is you truly realizing that you have laid enough of a foundation to begin. It's time to start cultivating what you have already sown. It's time to really immerse yourself, as these cards are saying, immerse yourself into the healing work that you have already gone through, that you're ready to share with others. It is knowing that you don't actually need any more of an invitation than what you already embody to begin. It's almost like this is pointing to this cultivate card, like it's time now. It's ready to cultivate this. There's all this abundance and growth here. And then with cross-pollinate, it's kind of a similar message in that the bees are pollinating to create more abundance. And these are the things that you have been doing, and also that the beehive cluster has been working closely with you on. El Moria is coming in very strongly right now as an ascended master who works quite closely with you, whether you are aware of them or not. I would really encourage you to just do your own research on El Moria as an ascended master, and I think that's going to help answer a lot of questions that you have about who am I working with. I think you know who you're working with, actually. I think it's going to answer more questions about your path. That's actually more what I'm feeling. With this symbiosis, trine sextile number 52, which reduces to a 7, it's like everything that you have done and are doing and will be moving into is in this beautiful symbiotic energy and relationship all together. It all flows together. This entire healing modality you've created, I almost see like 5 different main points, and they all work interchangeably for this beautiful holistic healing method that you have developed and created. This is something that's going to it's not just going to heal people, it's going to change the world of how we heal others and heal ourselves. It's a big, it feels like a big self-healers movement, if I'm being honest, but you are the practitioner. You are the person that is called to teach others this modality because you create, I want to say actually you helped create it. There's more than just one person here. And again, it's like what they said in the beginning, you're working together independently for the same goal. With exploration, I really want to say when I first saw this card, I thought, yeah, you're going to jump into exploring how to heal people in different ways. But I think this is actually something you might be a little apprehensive on. I think in a lot of ways, you feel like you need to have these certificates and degrees and diplomas and letters after your name and like contacts and connections. And honestly, I feel Spirit saying like, you're not going to harm anyone. And the only person who thinks you need a certificate behind your name is you. So if that is something that just feels like what you want, by all means, do that. There is nothing wrong with, there's literally nothing wrong with learning. Get as many certificates as you want. Go to as many things as you want to. The message is, I feel like you need to have these things in order to do what you want to do, and Spirit's saying like you totally don't. The healing is within you. I'm hearing Yeshua. The healing is within you. And you know, I would never say just go out willy-nilly doing whatever you want, laying hands on people and being a snake oil salesman, or even unwittingly, you know. I'm not saying go out in ignorance, but I don't believe that the people watching this are people who would do that. Again, there's something, this keeps coming up, so someone else, I feel like someone else in another pile, I've brought this up before and it's coming up for you again. But like these secret societies, the Masons, you're so connected to these secret societies, and in your lineage, there's a reason you incarnated in this lineage of different secret societies. And I'm hearing theology, which wasn't necessarily secret, more esoteric and occult, but no, I'm Mason was what the first thing that I heard, and so that could be further confirmation for someone. Also, Gemini is really standing out to me. I feel like for someone, there may have been some seeds you planted in Gemini season, or Something like a life-altering event happened in Gemini season, and Gemini and through Cancer. For some of you, it could have been it could have been pretty big. And I feel you kind of moving out of whatever that energy was, good or bad. It's like whatever that heaviness was from that season is really going to start to dissipate as you move into this new one. And this is a lot of movement over the next 2 weeks. They're reminding you to drink a lot of water. Remember that you're integrating lots of energies right now. You're also receiving a lot of information when you're sleeping. You're getting a lot of downloads through the day. And by downloads, I just mean thoughts that feel important. Like, I should write this down. I should do this. This makes sense. You know, if you're thinking of something and then all of a sudden you're like, man, that makes sense. Please write that down, because that's not by chance. That could be a key or a clue or just something to help you on your path. It's like, if I could recommend anyone who is looking to become more connected to their own personal intuition, it is to slow down and be more observant of everything around you. And then feel what it feels like. So what does it feel like if you're standing outside and a blue jay lands on a fence next to you and stays and looks at you for an inordinate amount of time? That's an unusual happenstance, especially because blue jays can be pretty aggressive. But that's an example of, you know, if that happened to me now, immediately my brain would be going, okay, what is blue jay symbolism and what's happening around me, where that would be an important message my guides are trying to get to me. So it's just slowing down, which is good practice anyway, and being more observant, having eyes that see and ears that hear. That would be the very first thing, aside from asking for protection and also asking out loud to be shown what you were meant to see by them. The very first things I would do would be to slow down and be more observant of everything around you. And then listen to your body. Does it feel like just a roly-poly on the ground, or does it feel like a message? So that was for somebody. Okay, is there anything else over the next 2 weeks that you want us to look at for pile 1? I'm actually just hearing they want to give you a couple affirmations as we go through the next 14 days. We have a new moon coming up in a few days that I'm very excited about. Also, you know, just working on clearing your chakras is always a good idea. And spending more time in that stillness of introspection, which is very similar to the energy of what we were just talking about, of being more open to receive messages from your guides. You know, being in more stillness, slowing down. So, pile 1. What else for pile 1 the next 2 weeks, please and thank you. They're drawing my eye to my lepidolite crow skull. So crows could be significant for someone, as well as the stone lepidolite. I wonder if I have my crystal book near me, because for some reason, I know lepidolite is a calming stone. I always feel like it has a psychic bent to it, but I can never really fully remember like exactly what the properties are, and maybe that is what it is. But if you're not already working with that stone, I feel like it would be a good idea. I'm just looking to see if I have. I don't see my crystal book around me. That's okay. Please and thank you, Spirit, for group 1 for the next 2 weeks. Group 1, what do they need to know? I'm hearing stop being so hard on yourself. Let's see here. We have a lot of pink and purple. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And then we have overcoming fear. I will transcend every loss. Okay, we have loss here twice with the same colors. Greeting wellness. Balance is the key to a life of infinite miracles. And inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. Okay, this is so cool. It's almost like past, present, future, but in a really narrow time frame. All the shadow work you've been doing, I'm hearing inner child work, really painful release work. Really, they're repeating it, really painful release work that you have been going through that has felt so, I mean, it has been actual loss. I think you hoped against hope in the midst of this, that the loss you were experiencing, whatever that may be, ultimately had to be leading to something better, or to be making space for something good. You know, it couldn't just stay in this painful loss place. And then you did start to transcend that loss. You did start to remember your divinity, your power, the fact that we are infinite, and that you are very, very strong, that you have come out on the other side of everything that life has ever hit you, and here you are. And in that, you really started to believe and realize how important balance in everything is, and how balance is literally the key to manifestation, the key to letting the universe know that you're ready. When the universe can see that you can balance, that you can live in balance, then it's almost like it's saying, like the timer dings, okay, they've got it. You knew how to manifest, but did you know how to balance the manifestations that you were asking for to come in? And now that you have figured that out, what you have waiting for you, inviting ecstasy. I am worthy of all the pleasure my heart desires. And so it's so important for you to remember that you just they are spelling it out for you. You deserve every good thing that is coming to you. Whether it's coming to you in 2 weeks, in 2 days, or 2 years from now. They need you to know you have done the work, and you deserve every bit. You are worthy of every bit of goodness and pleasure that your heart desires. There is nothing wrong with that. And you've more than earned it. And it's not even about earning it. You handled the impossible. You overcame it, and you not only transcended it, but then you continued to do the work to become a balanced human being. And now you're worthy of all the manifestations that you have asked for and been hoping for and calling in. So it's literally like the time to receive. And then once this comes in, it's like this call, this lion's roar or something like that tells the swan it's okay to fly. And y'all meet up and you do your like alchemical magic thing and anamorph into two beings in one incredible phoenix body that's going to change the world. How amazing is that? Wow. So this is your reading, group 1. What an exciting 2 weeks you have ahead of you. A lot of growth, and it feels like a lot of developments as well. Please, if you can remember, keep me updated, because I genuinely would love to know if any of this resonated with you at all. I would love to know. If you're interested in working with me or any of the services I offer, you can find all of that at my website at theseaowl.com. And more than anything in this whole world, please take excellent care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. My name is Allie, if you're new here, and we're already starting out with a different deck than we used in Group 1. As soon as I began clearing the space from Group 1's reading, they said, get this deck out. So this is the 4 Agreements from Don Miguel Ruiz. And this message is about what you need to know, or what is coming in the next 2 weeks, or from now through the end of September, whenever you come across this video. I think energy checks are just really super important, just as important as the other more galactic and different types of readings that I do, because ultimately we are here to have a human experience, and that is the most important thing. Everything else is just information to help us right now in this present moment as human beings. So in saying that, please and thank you, Spirit Guides of Group 2, Spirit, Guardian Angels, Archangel Michael, the next 2 weeks for Group 2. What do you want, this one, yes or no? Thank you. The next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks for Group 2. Let's just see what this one says. Express your love. Interesting. Impeccability of the word can be measured by your level of self-love. If you love yourself, you will express that love in your interactions with others, and that action will produce a like reaction. Very interesting. And I'm hearing for some of you, you hate the color pink and red. That's interesting. Enjoy heaven on earth. The rainbow is really significant to me here as well. More impeccability. Impeccability of the word can lead you to personal freedom, success, and abundance. You can attain the kingdom of heaven from this one agreement. Be impeccable with your word. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure you can see. Okay, and let's do one more, please, and thank you. Thank you so much. And this one is another, be impeccable with your word. Okay, so your words are going to be very important in the next 2 weeks. Speak with integrity. Say only what you mean. Avoid using the word to speak against yourself or to gossip about others. Use the power of your word in the direction of truth and love. So in the next 2 weeks, you're going to have to be using your throat chakra, your actual words a lot. Written or spoken, it doesn't matter. You're still using your throat chakra because you're using your energy of communication and truth. And what really rings true to you as a soul. Speak with integrity is really standing out to me, and I'm almost wondering if some of you may have a court case, or even just a really important, like a phone meeting, or I'm almost even getting like for an assistance, some kind of assistance, and it's an important meeting that has been set up that you're anticipating. And so there's a lot of different levels here with what's going on. For some of you, it is having to speak your truth with integrity in a situation that does not make you feel like you want to speak from a place of integrity. And I'm hearing rightfully so. So for some of you, especially if those of you are dealing with any kind of really painful court scenario or legal scenario, I feel for every time you have been done wrong, that your guides are not asking you to, help me word this correctly, they're not asking for you to be sweet and kind and passive, but what they are asking is for you to speak with such grace for yourself that nothing you say will, you know, you're only speaking truth, but you're also speaking with grace. Because I don't think you are someone who inherently speaks cruelly to anyone, but I do feel this heightened emotion, and I feel like you may have to be speaking your truth about something that you love deeply, that you would move heaven and earth for. And in this situation, of course, emotions are going to run like really, really high. It's going to be difficult to hold your composure at times, or it could be rather, because this is a very heightened emotional situation. And what Spirit is saying is you can speak your truth in whichever way you desire, but what would be in the highest interest of all involved, most importantly you, for the long game, is to speak with integrity and grace. So what does that mean exactly? It means not to use your word to speak against someone. Use the power of your word to speak in the direction of truth and love. And that doesn't mean you have to love the other person, but it does mean that you love yourself enough, or you love whatever you're fighting for enough to speak with passionate conviction wrapped in grace and not animosity. I also feel that this is not something necessarily to put too much worry into. We have this rainbow here, and I'm seeing success, abundance, personal freedom. These are things, and it says right here, the kingdom of heaven, from this one agreement, be impeccable with your word. I think as you try to express your love in this situation, it's just a heated, you know, these are the big things. These are the big things in life. These are the big things to show up for and to have a stance on, and it means something, and you deserve to be heard, and to be heard of how much hurt has been caused and the damage that has been done and could continue to be done. And also, can you release all of that noise to Spirit so that you can just live in expressing your truth with dignity and integrity and grace and love? I don't think, or rather, let me back up. I think in whatever situation you're having to do this in, speaking in this way is not anticipated by the opposing party. And I think that alone would make an impact. And so it's not like you need to go in there with a script or to pretend like you're holier than thou, or you're so healed or so above. It's removing the poison or perceived poison from the situation so that you're only speaking your actual truth, but with dignity and grace and love. Okay. Let's see, Spirit, I just saw 10:10 on the timer as I checked to make sure you could still see. They're pointing out this green fluorite to me. So this may be a you know what? You know what? I've got to find my crystal book, because I am almost positive green fluorite is a wonderful stone about to use for communication, and also peaceful, calm communication. I could be wrong. Please look that up. Don't quote me on that, but that is intuitively what I'm getting, and that might be a wonderful piece to have on you. I can't remember if I said green calcite or green fluorite. And as I look at this, I think this is green calcite. It is a very calming color though, isn't it? So after the reading, I'll look up all the details and post a bunch of resources for you in the description box, like I usually try to do. Pray night. No, they're saying not so much this one. Okay. All right, Spirit. What, yeah, where do we go from here? Tarot. Night tarot. Do I have a night tarot? What does that mean, Spirit? Okay. This is the Botanica tarot. All right, for the next 2 weeks, Spirit. And I actually feel called to leave these. Let's see. I feel very called to leave all this out up here. I'm just going to make some room. All right. Thank you, Spirit team of group 2. Further messages for them for the next 2 weeks. What's going on? What do they need to know? Important messages and check-in for group 2 for the next 2 weeks, please. I just heard the word abandonment. Abandonment. No other context with that. I just heard the word. It's interesting. Your guides are kind of quiet. You know, sometimes it's really loud, and sometimes it's so many messages that I have trouble keeping up, but they're really just kind of, it's almost like they're only speaking to me when being spoken to, and they're not interjecting at all, which feels very, again, very much like a law, a legal, a court type thing. So fascinating. It's something that's a big deal. And I feel like that has to play a role into the silence of your guides in between. Like, I'm getting nothing right now as I'm shuffling. And normally when I'm shuffling, it's like, here's 7 messages all at once. Please remember. Yeah. So please and thank you, guys. Yeah, we're making a point. They just said, okay, Page of Pentacles. They want that one too. Page of Pentacles. So you really are going through like a brand new start in all the ways. In all the ways. It was a death of something before. I don't feel like it was a literal death for many of you. And then King of Pentacles on the bottom. That is very important to note. And that feels very uplifting, I have to say. It feels extremely uplifting. Look at all these pentacles. Okay, so we have Page of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. I mean, We have 7 of Cups. I'm not reading these reversed, by the way. We have 2 of Cups, 7 of Cups, 2 of Cups. And then, let's see, 7 of, gosh, I'm trying to remember, is that Wands? I'll have to look. And what is this? 9 of Cups. Okay. Yeah, that's 7 of Wands. So let me make sure you can see. For some of you, this could be an actual divorce with children involved. And then there's another camp of you who could actually be getting married. It's very interesting. The 7 of Cups and the 7 of Wands, the 7-7, I'm hearing somebody was born in 77. And so there's 2 different camps of people here. I'm going to start first with the camp of people who I feel like are dealing with a separation or a divorce or something of that nature. I feel like as long as you speak just like they're saying, if you don't, I'm hearing don't be a hothead, okay? Don't take offense to that. I'm just saying with the level of intensity that you're dealing with, that would be a really easy go-to, okay? What I'm feeling here is, although this relationship has broken down into like this, it can't really be repaired, there is a lot of realization on both sides that for a time, for a good time, I feel like it felt like the 2 of you were each other's castles in the sky. And so it felt very passionate and very dreamy and kind of like we can conquer the world, king and queen, starting our own path, doing things our way. And then it suddenly fell down into what you thought was going to be wish fulfillment actually turned into, I think, seeing more or less like the true colors of each other. And it's not that either one's color was bad. It's just that kind of like in the light of day, when you really see them, you see that the colors of their rainbow just like are not matching yours. I think there was so much passion and so much hope and all that tied into the potential of what you thought you could see in this relationship, that it's added to the hurt and the pain. It feels like each of you have unwittingly kind of set each other up for disappointment. I don't think either of you intended that. I think you could both see the beautiful colors in each other. It was just when things really started getting deep and you could see all the colors that you realized this wasn't the kind of heaven on earth that you had so hoped and believed that it was in each other. And I think that's caused a lot of pain and resentment. I also think that on a really deep level that there are beautiful things about each of you that each of you still love about each other. And I think that also adds to the pain of all this. But ultimately, we're seeing this call for independence here because where you have been and all that has not been entirely healthy. It hasn't been healthy. It hasn't been healthy. So I see with the King of Pentacles here, as long as you're able to keep, and this isn't gender specific, but as long as you're able to keep your words, like we said in the beginning, spoken with integrity, with grace, with love, and still speaking your truth, just removing the poison from that. I think that's going to help all of this move into a final kind of energy that brings everyone some semblance of peace. Can I have one more card for the outcome of this for group 2, please? Thank you. So the outcome, we have Knight of Wands with passion flower. Passion flower I really love. I like to use it in my teas sometimes. It has a lot of psychic enhancing abilities, but also it's very calming. And so I feel like the outcome of all this is going to be a lot more calm and unique and beautiful than you could perceive at this moment in time. I'm actually going to read from the book because these cards are very interesting. They all have specific meanings related to each flower on each card, and I'm feeling called to read that for you before we kind of wrap up this reading. So Knight of Wands is passion flower. So it is a warrior, someone with equal measures of passion and cruelty, hot-blooded. This vine was given the name passion by priests who saw them as symbolic of the conquistadors' divine right to conquer the indigenous peoples. The symbol of this card is the Yautu of Tupac Amaru, the last Sapa Inca, and I apologize if I butchered any of that, but I actually don't feel like that is the message. Passion flower, okay. Powers, peace, sleep, friendships. Contrary to its name, the passion flower is placed in the house to calm problems and troubles and to bring peace. Carried, it attracts friends and great popularity. Placed below the pillow, it aids in sleep. And so the peace, the serenity, the calmness that I was feeling with this Knight of Wands is what I think is the outcome of this situation in the next 2 weeks. It's also related to the planet Venus, associated with the planet Venus. And I feel like a lot of self-love, acts of self-love that you could do for yourself over the next 2 weeks as you navigate this and beyond would be particularly helpful. I almost feel a necessity because you're already going to be having to hold this higher vibration and frequency to keep that. They keep saying the word poison, to keep any of this negative poison from affecting you, from seeping in, that could affect your words, which could then affect the outcome. And again, it's not about being manipulative. This is to help you through this process as well. So the outcome here for you, group 2, while I feel like you're really going through it in a lot of ways, the outcome does feel like the peace you've kind of been looking for. And that also might be a good tea for you to drink. Now, there's a separate camp of people here, they're reminding me, who are getting married. And I feel as though you may have had a falling out or a disagreement, and you're like, I don't know if I can do this now. Like, you're having serious second thoughts and thinking if this is what fighting with this person is like I'm out, I'm not doing this, this is the opposite of heaven on earth. And for you, I actually feel, well, let's get a few more cards. Let's get a few more cards here before I get ahead of myself. For this second camp of people, thank you. Boy, that one kind of like, is that 10 of Wands? Okay, that's too many. I'm going to take this big pile and set it on top. And we'll just see what we have here. This one really flew out hard. Okay, I believe this is the Empress. Let me see here. I want to be sure. I was wrong. The Rose is the Hierophant. Okay, so yes, marriage. Interesting. Roses have long been a symbol of monarchy as well as the marriage between power and faith. And I feel like you guys might be having power struggles, so that's okay. So how can I make sure we see all these? The Hierophant, we have 4 of Wands. There's, okay, this is so much marriage. It's not even funny. It's just marriage cards everywhere. We have the Fool. We have the 10 of Wands. Yeah, and that's supposed to be together like that. And then what is this? We have 8 of Wands. Ace of Cups. Ooh, and who are you? I don't even know who that is. All these symbols, it's too much to memorize. What would the bullseye be? And it's the World. Oh my gosh. Okay. In many cases, it represents the beginning or the end of a journey to enlightenment. So it's cold feet, okay? You're going to run into moments like this in a marriage, in any kind of relationship, where you have to learn how to communicate with each other. Like, you're not going to survive. Your relationship will not survive unless both of you decide and make the effort to learn how to communicate better and to communicate with each other. I feel like you both know this, and you're running into normal issues and roadblocks that couples run into. This relationship kind of feels like the end of one way of being and the beginning of another, but in the best possible way. Because before, where you had to navigate life all on your own, constantly in this 10 of Wands, exhausted, all by yourself, like just getting shit done because there was no one else to do it but you, that energy is being replaced now by the freaking Ace of Cups in the World. Like, you are not going to have to endure that kind of energy anymore, because your match is here now. And while you may not, tears are going to be shed, you're not always going to be on the same page, because you're two individual people, and no one, that's freaky. No one is supposed to be on the same page all the time. And if they are on the same page as you all the time, you need to look at that too. I'm not saying you should be fighting, but you should both have your own unique opinions and viewpoints, and then be able to communicate them with each other and find a compromise. And so for you, that's what's happening in this relationship. 9 of Cups, this is your actual wish fulfillment. You have so many marriage cards out here, and it's coming in soon. Like, this is probably, are you getting married in the next 2 weeks? Or you could, some of you could be getting proposed to, and you could be feeling that proposal coming and also thinking, how could I possibly say yes to this person after this argument we've just had? And of course, if it doesn't feel right to you, don't do it. I'm not in any way saying that, but I am telling you what the cards are telling me, which is, it looks like for some of you it's a matter of looking at yourself. How can you be a better communicator? How can you look at being a better partner now and in the future? And is that person willing to do the same for you and meet you there? If not, then they may not be the right partner, but I'm not really feeling that for you. I'm just throwing that out there. This Hierophant card is really, really significant. I feel like there's a few of you who are even arguing about whether or not you should get married in a church or outside. And as someone who has already gotten married, I mean, I'm not trying to tell you at all what to do, but if you can remember that the most important thing is that you are marrying the person that you want to spend every single day with and that you love, then, you know, you should be okay to get married in a porta potty, I guess. I mean, that seems really terrible. But try to not let those kind of things be so big that it could ruin something really beautiful in your life. And I don't feel like it's going to get ruined. I think this is like a hiccup, a speed bump, a totally normal thing that humans go through. But, you know, the outcome here was the Ace of Cups, and, you know, the end of this solitary way of being is coming in really quickly. And these are blackberries. I love blackberries, and you got to get through some thorns and some weeds and stuff to get to these amazing berries. And I love blackberries, so some thorns are worth it to me. And they're saying we're going to end it there. So pile 2, this was your reading for the next 2 weeks. Thank you so, so much for spending your precious time with me. I cannot tell you how much it means to me. It makes my heart sing. And if this reading resonated with you, I would love to hear how. If you feel called, please like, share, or subscribe. Those are completely free ways to help me and the channel grow, and it really just means the world to me. And if you're interested in working with me or any of the services that I offer, you can find all of that at my website at theseaowl.com. And more than anything, please take excellent care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your reading. If you're new here, my name is Allie, and I am so grateful to get to spend this time with you. This reading is what you need to know. It's like an energy check for the next 2 weeks whenever you come across it, or for the from now until the end of September. I'm recording this in September 2023. So whenever you find it, it's timeless, and it's for the next 2 weeks. And I'm really excited to dig in. The last 2 readings have been totally different from each other, and different cards, different messages. It's been really interesting. So this is for you. We're going to go ahead and start actually with this Spirit Animal Oracle from Colette Baron Reed. I've been staring at it since I sat down to meditate for your reading. And I hope you're doing wonderful. I hope you are navigating these very heightened energies around the world as best that you can right now. I'm feeling them also. Yeah, that's the noise for it. But we're doing it. So go ahead and take a deep breath for me if you feel called, in through your nose for about 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 2 to 3 seconds, and then exhale out your mouth for 4 to 5 seconds. And do that as many times as it feels comfortable to you. And Let's go ahead and see for group 3 spirit team. What messages and information do you have for group 3 for the next 2 weeks? Please and thank you. If you felt, I'm just going to tell you now, if you felt called to group 1, you've got messages there, because B Spirit was all over that reading, and I didn't use this deck. So, yeah. If you feel drawn to pile 1 or B's, then check that out. But for group 3, Spirit, I do feel that one. For group 3, the next 2 weeks. I want to see what's at the bottom here first. Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being, number 38. I feel like the number 11 is very significant for you. You may have been born in November or the 11th of a month. Overall, the number 11, you may have an 11-year-old child or 11-year-old niece, an 11-year-old neighbor. There's something really significant about the number 11 for you. Another repeating number, number 66. So you're probably seeing a lot of repeating number synchronicities. And also, like, I'm just going to say it, you're extremely connected to some ascended masters. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but look at you, you magical being, you group 3, holy cow. So first I want to say I'm getting like some 3, 6, 9 energy here. We again have 2 7s, and that came up in pile 2. But again, like, only if you feel called, because they were totally different messages. I'm just noting that. That's interesting. Scarab Beetle is magic. White Raven Spirit is magic. Bees are magical. How they even fly and exist with their bodies is magical. Grasshopper Spirit. This is like, they've got a crown on, and this feels very regal, very royal. Bear Spirit with number 9. So, I mean, I feel like the very clear message right off the bat here is there is something that you have been waiting to release or create, and it's time. So if you've been waiting for Spirit to tell you it's time, then they're telling me to tell you it's time. They need you to literally take a leap of faith into what you already know is the magic that's been working and growing and building within you. So they're telling me you know exactly what this is. If you don't, this is strange. Like, they're saying if you don't know what this is about, they would encourage you to pick a different pile. I don't know why they would say that, but I'm just saying it because they're saying that. The magic that you have been building and working on and cultivating and growing within you, particularly related to your divination methods. They've been asking you for a long time to create your own method of divination, something that's unique to only you, that no one else is doing, and this is how you make your mark. That the bear spirit is really standing out here to me, and there's 4 feathers here on, I want to say on her head, and then she has 2 feathers hanging from her neck here. It's almost like you've been in this regal hibernation. I don't even know what that means, but like very protected, very watched over, very provided for. As you learned about your magic, you started learning how to work with your magic, you started teaching yourself. This is how you have become the most adept teacher, Spirit is saying, because you not only taught yourself and listened to yourself, but you allowed magic to work through you via Spirit. You allowed Spirit to work through you, which allowed magic to work through you. And this entire timeout period that you have been on, which may have felt like it a long time, is now coming to a close. It's like it's time for, actually this white raven actually kind of reminds me of bird right before it's getting ready to be kicked out of the nest, or asked to fly the coop. I'm having difficulty speaking. And there's like these little red berries here. It's got its little nutrition to take on its way as it leaves its perch. So the bee here, I'm really drawn to, I want to see if I can get a better look at this. It's like it's like a little mechanical system, or something like that. It's like a robot bee, a mechanical bee. And so I feel like you've been kind of working on, like, in this monotonous mechanical, not monotonous, in this mechanical type of way of learning and absorbing the magic, your magic, how to work with it, how it relates to you over the last 3 years, I'm hearing. And it's like the culmination of all of this is time. It's time to trust in the magic that is you. Number 66 is very important. You could have been born in 1966. You could be 66 years old. I'm also getting something here with being born on the 6th of a month, or having a 12-year-old cat. Okay, so that's for someone very specific. And it feels exciting, and it also feels scary. It feels scary. In the next 2 weeks, they're going to literally blow a trumpet for you, is that Archangel Gabriel? They're going to blow a trumpet for you and say, it's time. And they need you to know what to do, and you know what to do, and you know how to do it. I, for my own sake, want to get more details on what the heck you are going to be doing, if they will tell me. So let's just see. Let's just see here. What is it? There is a gnat up here where I just saw where a gnat should not be. And that immediately makes me think that you have some minor annoyances going on around you right now that are adding to your anxiety of revealing your magic, I think is what this is. And they're reminding you that, like, a gnat is a gnat, and it is nothing more than an annoyance to you. Do not let that throw you off your game. Do not let that keep you from moving forward and taking the steps that you know is time to take. You've already started on the path, but like when they blow the horn and it's time to start the marathon, that part hasn't started yet. That's what's coming sometime in the next 2 weeks. I'm also hearing the name Rebecca. So that may be significant to someone out here. And so we have the Tear and the Judge. I actually feel like your magic is, again, helping people heal through their pain. But it's more than just that. It's more than just helping people heal through their pain. It's the Judge. So I think part of your magic has been learning how to discern energies, and also learn how to not judge others as well as not judge yourself. This may not seem like, Harry Potter magic, but the fact that you have been able to witness this as a pain point, as a growing point, and then take it so far, take teaching yourself and integrating that knowledge so far that now you are this judge of character in a way where you can't be deceived, and you can help other people not be deceived. So in a sense, it feels like you're helping people figure out who they are without being deceived. And then it's like being more than a mentor. I'm almost getting this, this is really beautiful. When I was in nursing school, I had all of my instructors were amazing in their own right. But I had one instructor that I actually feel comfortable using her name, because she's since passed away. And her name was Mrs. Schnicker. And she was something else. And let me tell you, she was one hell of a nursing instructor. And for the first half of my time in nursing school, this has a point to my story has a point to your message. I just want to say that. The first half of my time in nursing school, I avoided her. I tried to, I could not, but like I was intimidated by her. I was sure she was judging every single thing that I did. Anytime I came to class with an energy drink, I just felt her staring at me about how unhealthy that was. I was in nursing school, and she had also been a breast cancer survivor. So she was very, very into being like as healthy as you could be. So the first half of my nursing school tenure was rough with her. The second half, I was able to show her, I was so determined to prove to not only her, but to myself that like, I was going to be the best. I was going to prove her wrong. I was going to be healthy. I was going to be smart. I was going to be the top of the class. I was going to prove Miss Schnicker wrong. And don't you know that I did surprise her when we got to clinicals. I remember seeing a look of surprise on her face when I jumped in to do something. And from that moment on, she knew that I was serious. And I felt like she kind of took me on. And there wasn't many months left of school at that point. It was lots of practicals, you know, the good like experience. And from that moment on, I could tell she knew I was serious, and she mentored me and she pushed me. She was already doing those things, but once she saw that I was the real deal, that my heart was in the right place, that it was like it changed something in her on how she wanted to teach me. And so the energy that I feel here from you is you had to be your own self and your own Miss Schnicker, okay? With the help of your guides. And now you have such discernment that you don't even have to go through all that to see if someone that you want to help, right? With your magic, with the way that you heal and help other people, you don't even have to wait that long to see if they're serious. You have become such a judge of character that you can see straight into someone's heart, into their soul, into their psyche, and know you can weigh their heart with a feather. You may feel very connected to Maat, an Egyptian deity, and this is a superpower. You know, this means that you cannot be deceived, and you can make sure that other people cannot be deceived. And these are the types of healers we need right now. We don't need any more snake oil salesmen. We don't need any more half-ass healers who are only here to get paid $1,000 an hour. And trust me, almost every person I see on TikTok has got payments like that, where they're charging the most exorbitant amount of money and making themselves so completely inaccessible to actually help people who need help. That is why I feel such a calling to put readings like this on YouTube in this free space, because I don't like to charge people money, and I believe in helping people. And so your superpower is being able to discern this, and then when you see their heart, you're able to work your magic through their pain. You navigate it, you pull it out. This is very shamanic. This feels like shamanic healing and journeying on another level. Serious energy work. And It's Spirit working through you with your own inherent magic. It's this beautiful divine dance. And it's literally this, like, you know how grasshoppers have this distinct noise? That is who you are with your healing modality field. It is completely distinct and personalized to you. And within the next 2 weeks, Spirit is going to blow the horn to tell you it's time to put it out there. Do you know how you're going to put it out there? Have you sat with yourself on how you're going to make this work? How is this going to be a possibility? I don't think you even need to worry about resources. I think what they need, the only thing they really need you to concentrate right on, my words, the only thing they need you to concentrate on right now is getting your ducks in a row, getting yourself cleared and in alignment, getting yourself, enjoying your time. Don't sit around in this kind of like, all right, I'm waiting for the call. Like, I'm waiting for go time. That is not it. It's knowing that you will be called when it's time and what would be the best expenditure of your energy while you wait. This is having fun. This is cutting loose. This is taking deep breaths and knowing that everything is fine. This is maybe cleaning up how you want to start sessions with your future clients. Do you have kind of a breakdown of what you want a session to look like? How many sessions approximately do you think a person would need for the service that you are providing? Inner child healing is an example for me. This is something I'm working on right now, and some of the things that I need to do is kind of get these more tactical or practical things lined up of how would a session look start to finish? What are the resources that I need? Should I build a list of resources of people who can help you if I can't help you? You know, all those kind of like business practicality things, and also just fun. Because you've done the work. You are the judge, you are the magic, you are the healer, you are the shaman, and you know, it's cultivating this faith in yourself to get it on par with the faith that you have in Spirit, and just listen for that call. I'm actually going to move these cards off the table now because I want to get a different message for you, and I don't know what that would be, but I hear a second message, so let's see what that might be. So now I feel called to use the Oracle of Light, which is a bit more of a galactic deck, but that is what they're calling us to use. And if you are the shamanic healer, then I don't think you'll have any issue with me using this deck. So this is a beautiful deck from a soul sister, Deborah at Intuitive Turtle. And if you were drawn to this deck like I was, I have a link in my description box of her channel, and also a link to buy the cards if you should desire to. So for group 3, what other messages or final messages do you have for group 3 about the next 2 weeks? This energy check, what do they need to know? Guidance, advice, predictions. Anything like that would be okay. Let's see here. This deck is a little big for my hands, but that's okay. So bear with me if it looks really funny. This is just how I like to shuffle the cards too. There's plenty of other ways I could do this that would probably be easier, but thank you, Spirit. For group 3, what other messages do you need them to know? Thank you so much. Interesting. We have anger and we have the Lyrans. And for some reason, I'm not at all surprised to see this. I want to get more though. Yeah, stay present. The past is always gone. Can we get one more, please. One more for group. Thank you. Okay. At the bottom, we have building endurance. Don't give up. You're almost there. Oh my gosh, that's a crazy. And alchemy. Transforming reality for the betterment of all. Okay, this almost makes me want to cry. You have been very angry. I can feel this. I see it and feel it in this card. You have been so angry at so much. And I'm hearing that it's not even misplaced anger. It's genuinely placed human anger. And also, how can we transform this? Because you want to heal others. You're meant to heal others. And they're giving me an image right now of someone who's going to give like a professional massage, but they go to the bathroom and they don't wash their hands before they start the massage. This is really gross. But they're making the connection here that trying to do energy work on someone when you still hold on to, I would say, like, of your body, of your being, you have this much anger left in you, of just pure, unadulterated anger. And I think you're able to kind of keep it in its container pretty well. It doesn't really rear its head that often, but they're reminding you that when it does, that it is anger, that it is this card, that it is debilitating and feels like it sets you back a lot. And so we need to get to the root of this anger so that we can alchemize it and transform it, just like this card says, for the betterment of all. And it's for the betterment of all, and you are included in that, because you don't have to go and heal a single person if you don't want to, except for yourself. That's literally all that is required of you on this earth walk, is that you learn how to heal yourself. And so you've done this. It's kind of like this is this last bit, and for whatever reason, you can't let go of it. And I don't know if it's because that anger feels like it can't go anywhere because the anger is there in place of what was taken from you. And so what may have been taken from you may have been your voice or your innocence or your freedom or your options, your divinity, your spark, your home. These things that could have been taken from you, the things that were taken from you were replaced with this deity of anger. And that is where the mending needs to happen over the next 2 weeks in order for you to have your hands nice and clean to start working. And so I feel the Lyrans coming in very strongly here. First of all, music is incredibly healing for you. And I know I'm not telling you anything new, but I also feel that meditating to connect with the Lyrans and also just spending more time listening to music that feels healing to you. It could be Metallica, honestly, but if it feels like it's healing this anger, then you know that you're starting to work to alchemize it and transmute it back to source. Because the space that will be left there from anger is going to be filled up with love. It can't be filled up with anything else at this point, with the amount of work that you have done on yourself, with the amount of alchemy you've already created. The magic potion is sitting there ready for you to remove the anger so the love can be poured in. And once that's done and sealed up, you're like, that's when the trumpet's going to sound. That's when it's going to be go time, because you're literally going to have nothing holding you back. The past is always gone. Stay present. This just keeps coming through so strongly for me, because I feel your mind likes to jump back to past hurts a lot. I feel like it's easily triggered by these past hurts because much of you wanted to be viewed as not just kind, but also easygoing and go with the flow, and you didn't want people to think negatively about you. And so this anger was put in a container that only comes out at really what I'm hearing is like the most inopportune times. Times when you need the most patience and you need to be giving grace and patience. Those seem like the times when this deity really rears its ugly head and just feels like it sets you back so far. I'm going to pull a few more cards because this feels like a really important message, particularly on the anger spirit. Can you give us some more information on this anger? I would like to know if we could, what can we know about this so that I can help group 3 work through this and transmute it. Please give me some information on this anger. Please give me some information on this anger spirit. Okay, so we have change, number 12, more red. We have earth. So I feel like a lot of your anger is related to, you know, things in your earthly realm changing and you not having a say in that. I'm getting this image of an earthquake, honestly, and like something being taken completely down to rubble, and you being really angry about that because you thought, maybe you're angry about it because you had been warning everyone around you for a year that this terrible earthquake was, you know, bound to hit at this time. And everyone thought you were crazy and nobody listened to you and laughed it off. And then the earthquake happened and nothing's been the same since. And you're so overcome with anger because if people had just listened to you, the earthquake would have never caused the damage. You know, the earthquake may have still happened, but it would not have caused the damage and the devastation that it did. I feel like a lot of your anger is related to things in the physical realm, the earthly realm, like not being given what you needed, whether that was nurturing or compassion or even basic necessities like food and shelter. It could be anger from things that have been taken from you, from the earth, or people passing, the fact that our 3D bodies do have an expiration date. A lot of this feels like anger related to your personal power and also your heart space and your belief in yourself that your gifts and your talents and what you have to say are worthy of being heard and listened to. Because I feel like you have always been a very wise, sage, sweet, compassionate person and people have walked all over you and ignored you in the worst possible way. You are also very clearly a seer. You have a sixth sense about things. You're very psychic. And so whatever this disaster that you were hoping would be averted was, I feel like the simple fact that nobody believed you makes it all the more painful. And then I'm getting here with belief, yeah. Believing in yourself that you do have this connection to Source, that your self-worth is based, it says this on the card, our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to Source. They need you to believe this, and that all you have to do is ask. Ask for help from your guides and from Source to help you transmute this last bit of anger and alchemize it and transform it into the betterment of all, and to fill that space with love. If you meditate with the Lyrans, I think they are going to be able to help offer you a lot of healing in that way. And I also just feel like you're genuinely connected to them on another level, and they want you to know that they're with you and they see you and they're working with you on this next beautiful chapter of your life. So please have patience and grace with yourself over the next 2 weeks as you work through releasing this anger and integrating all of this and building your plan and having fun and getting ready for the call to start and take that leap of faith. It feels like life is about to get really, really, really exciting for you, Group 3. And man, I just want to congratulate you. And like, actually, I want to give you a standing ovation, because the feeling they're giving me is just, man, you've done so much. You've done so much. And this may feel like a hard one to get through, but look at the other stuff you've gotten through. Like, this is nothing. You can do this. You can do this. You just have to believe. You have to have that belief in spirit that you can. And I didn't do this for any of the other cards, any of the other piles, but I want to do it for you. Let's just finish here with some angel numbers. I always like to see what's on the bottom of the deck when I put it in there. So I am a leader, number 28. 8, 9, 10, you're ending a cycle, but number 28 could be significant to you. You could be 28 years old. You could be born on the 28th of a month or the 10th of a month. Also hearing you could be a life path 11. And somebody likes chicken pot pie. Or is eating chicken pot pie. If that's the case, this is your confirmation. All right, I'm just being silly now. So, I mean, I did hear chicken pot pie, but all right. Final messages, angel numbers to help lead, guide, and direct Group 3 on the next 2 weeks ahead of their journey. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And we're just going to give you one more good shuffle because I wanna. All right. Angel numbers for Group 3. I will sing you a song like the Lyrans. Actually, whoa, did you see that? Actually, I find when I speak with the Pleiadians, I sing in like a sing-songy. I am generous. 24, which reduces to a 6. You have a heart of gold and are very skilled at maintaining balanced, stable relationships. You are loyal to your loved ones and are able to be the nurturer, protector, and provider all at once. Weren't we just saying that you are the judge for yourself and for others? Like you are the healer for yourself and for others? I mean, and number 6 is the number of love. So once we remove that anger, it's going to be filled up with love. And then you're going to be able to be generous with your gifts. I mean, this is amazing. Woo! Oh, would you look at that? I saw 23. We have 23, I am adventurous. Number 20, look at all these 2s. So 222, keep an eye out for that. 22, or any of these numbers that you see. 30, I am imaginative. And number 27, yeah, definitely keep an eye out on the 2s here. And I would say, because I'm recording this, this is the 11th of September. Maybe look out for this week of the 20th through the 30th through September. Or, you know, whenever you're listening to this, that week of the 20th through the 30th. Yeah, that feels really significant. One of you has a birthday on this day. Number 23 is sticking out significantly. And here I am saying, look at the 2s. And we have 2 again here at the bottom. I am diplomatic. You are on the right path and you're starting a new one, and you're right on the precipice. You are right there. You are about to start. I am so excited for you. We don't need another card, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. 12, 12, and 9. So more 3, 6, 9. Nikola Tesla. And 12, 12. Stay focused on your best possible future and remain optimistic throughout the entire journey. Your angels are right behind you as you turn your dreams into reality. Could there be a better final message here? Yeah. So that's what I have for you, group 3. The next 2 weeks for you, yeah, you got a lot going on. Very exciting. Don't forget to have fun and have grace with yourself and be patient. So yeah, this was really cool. Please let me know what you're doing in the comments, because I really genuinely love connecting with you in that way. If this message resonated, please, if you feel called, like, share, or subscribe. Those are completely free ways to help me and the channel grow, so I can keep doing what I really love doing, which is bringing you messages like this. And if you're interested in booking a reading with me or working with me in any way, you can find all that information at my website at theseaowl.com. And more than anything, group 3, thank you for your precious heart, and please take excellent care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.